Good evening, beautiful and handsome ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 5th Annual Technical Teachers Conference Awards Ceremony. It's my pleasure to continue with you on this journey into the evening where we celebrate you. We celebrate your ingenuity, your patience, your creativity, and just your conviction in harnessing a new cohort of engineers, inventors, mathematicians, and all those who will be contributing positively to the South African economy as we consider a future powered by the Fourth Industrial Revolution. We're here to celebrate the winners as well, and the categories for the awards tonight will be satisfied by various criteria, which we will explain to you. The categories are Civil Technology for the Civil Services Specialization, Civil Technology for the Construction Specialization, Civil Technology for the Woodwork Specialization. There's also an award for Electrical Technology, Mechanical Technology, and Technical Sciences. Today we're going to announce to you the winners as per specialization subject, and they'll also receive prizes from our generous sponsor, Sharp. The trophies are sponsored by the Department of Basic Education, specifically the Maths, Science and Technology Directorate. And you'll recall that this entire conference has been with the collaboration and the support of the Department of Basic Education. So thank you very much to our commercial sponsors, and thank you very much to the Department of Basic Education as well. Before we actually kick off the awards and I announce to you the winners themselves, I'd like to call on Ms. Elspeth Khembo. She is the MST Director in the Department of Basic Education. She joins us just to highlight the criteria that the judges were looking for in each category, as well as just positioning the importance of the overall awards for the conference, why this is all happening on this platform. So please virtually welcome Ms. Khembo as she joins us on stage.
Good evening, and thank you very much, Sasol, for hosting this very successful conference that started yesterday, and it's been going very well. And the presentations have been very, very, very inspiring. And this is a new area of study that we have in the Department of Basic Education under the banner of the 3 streams model. You know, creating a pathway, a differentiated pathway for all the learners that are in the system, the academic, the vocational, technical, and the occupational. And we need these artisans that the National Development Plan tells us that we need to have 30,000 artisans by 2030, you know, producing 30,000 artisans. So we need to really ensure that we increase the participation of learners that will be doing these subjects, and also the quality of the passes, that most of them, they need to pass at 50% and above. So the criteria of the awards, which is one thing that is very inspiring, and you know, the main aim being to inspire and ensure that you know, the teachers that are working with the learners are also, you know, they get that kind of accolade and recognition for the work that they are doing. So the criteria includes only the quintile 1 to 3 schools, and the learners need to have passed 100% in the subject, whether it's civil technology or electrical technology. All the learners need to have passed, and they need to have passed at 60% and above average for the subject. And it needs to be a minimum of about 10 learners and above. And at least 1 or more distinctions, and we're hoping we'll have more distinctions in the future. And it is disconcerting, the fact that the highest percentage that we have here is only 71.6%. And there are no, you know, percentages in the 80s, nothing in the 90s. So we really need to work hard and push, and with the work that we've already done, there's still more time for improvement. And the subjects that are not getting any awards are electrical technology, electronics, and mechanical technology, automotive, and technical mathematics. These are the subjects that did not manage to get an average of 60% at all. And therefore, it gives us a lot of work that we still need to do and improve, and ensure that in the awards next year, I believe Sasol will be having the awards again. We will be having all the subjects. We will see categories in the 90%, and the people having achieved much more than they have now. And so we wish all the teachers, the schools that have managed to produce these kind of good marks and excellent results, and encouraging them to say, thank you very much for the hard work that you've done, especially during the COVID-19 period last year, when it wasn't clear what is going to happen. And we've seen that the biggest challenges with especially the subjects with the practical component was the issue of social distancing and ensuring that the children can be able to access some form of, simulations for them to be able to do the practical assessment tasks, which is one of the very difficult areas that we are currently tackling with the Department of Basic Education and the provinces, ensuring that there's social distancing in the workshops and the learners can be able to participate fully in the practical assessment tasks that they need to do for them to be able to have that high quality of marks for they call it the SBA, that the mark that is added onto the final examinations that they write. So I'd like to congratulate all the awardees, the people that are going to be awarded the prizes. And it's not just a recognition of the work that you have done, it's a recognition, a collaboration of the people that work together, thanking the parents of the learners, thanking the teacher, and all the systems that are around the teacher that supports the teacher, the stakeholders that come in, Sasol Foundation with the support that they're giving us, and all the other support systems that exist in the provinces. And we also like to thank the other teachers in the schools, because when there's work that needs to be done, other teachers also kick in and they ensure that the environment in the schooling system is very conducive for the work that needs to happen. And also thanking the school management teams, which is the departmental heads and the deputy principal, the principal, because they ensure that there is resources that are needed by the learners and the teachers for them to be able to do the practical assessment tasks that need to be happening. And then they ensure that the examinations are well prepared for. They provide all the support that is needed in terms of the academic work, in terms of the theory that they need to do, and in terms of the practical work that need to be done, making sure that the resources are there. And also ensuring that the school governing body also is in support of the work that is done, because they have to put up a budget and ensure that the budget is there for the work that needs to be done. And looking at the subjects, the way that they are, and the people that are being awarded, it is quite, good to see that the people that are receiving the awards are far and wide, not just people in the urban areas. We have people from the rural areas of KwaZulu-Natal and the Northwest and Bujanala district, and Steve Chwete in the Eastern Cape and Mpumalanga district, Steve Chwete district in Mpumalanga, and it is quite and Zululand, Nkomazi words. So we have a varied, people from various places, especially in the rural areas. And this is one area with the way that we are working right now, putting together a plan with the Department of Basic Education, with the provinces, to ensure that all the subjects, especially the technical subjects, when we met with the DG the other day, to ensure that all the subjects are supported, especially the subjects, the specializations, because there is no, like an area where they get, the learners, they get some form of exercises in the GET. We only have now the technology, the GET technology in the grade 7 to 9, but with the 3 streams model, we are now having occupational, where the subjects in grade 8 and 9 we have developed, and there are pilots that are going in there. And the system is, going and ensuring that there is a lot of work that is done in preparation to ensure that the learners, there's articulation when they come out of grade 9 into whatever specialization that they want to go into. So we are glad to see that there is work that is being done, and in that area of the 3 streams model for the vocational, occupational, if I can just give you a little bit of update on that, is that there's 105 schools that are being piloted. They are piloting the subjects in grade 8 and 9. That will ensure that the learners will be able to have some form of foundational grounding for them to when they articulate into the FET, they will have had that kind of foundational skills and competencies for them to be able to get into whatever area that they want. And obviously we will be looking into electronics, automotive, and technical mathematics to ensure that there is a development in those areas. And I'm glad to also remind you, it's been in the program that technical mathematics for the first time is going to have a practical assessment task to assist the learners, for them to be able to gather those marks that they need, do a bit of theory and a bit of practicals for them to be able to gather the necessary marks for that. So with those few words, I would like to congratulate all the people that are getting the awards this evening, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you, Ms. Elspeth Khembo, from the Department of Basic Education, for just outlining the criteria that applies in terms of the selection of winners today. But I think, even though she challenged all the schools to do better, the underlying tone and the words that she used in her address is that there's been a COVID environment, there have been a lot of challenges, but you've still delivered the results. You've still encouraged children, you've still harnessed their talent, you've allowed them to innovate, to be creative, and this is what the awards ceremony is about, is to say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you, to all the teachers, all the school principals, all the administrators, even the parents, she said, who dug deep to say, even in an abnormal situation, you still want your children to thrive. And for all those who will be recognizing today the marks that are over 75%, as she said, that's a pretty significant accomplishment in a really challenging social environment. So with that, I'm ready to announce the 2020 winners of the Sasol 5th Annual Technical Teachers Conference. It gives me great pleasure to announce the winners in the civil technology category. And we start off with the winners in the civil services specialization of the civil technology category. Drum roll, please, for Derek Kobe Senior Secondary School from Limpopo. I'm going to say shine. All right, staying in the category of civil technology, And we are now announcing the winner for the construction specialization. And the winner is Bizimali High School from KwaZulu Natal. Alala. Shine. And the third in the civil technology category is for woodwork specialization. And the winner is the Nkala Tech and Commercial High School from the Northwest. Yes, congratulations. Congratulations to all the winners in this particular category of civil technology. And you've been seen, you've been recognized, and we appreciate you. Next up is the electrical technology category. And in this category, we're going to have winners looking at the digital systems and power system specialization subjects. For digital systems, the winner is Leseding Technical High from the Free State. Congratulations to you. And second in this category is the electrical technology, for electrical technologies, the power system specialization. And the winner is Dr. Reginald Cingo Comprehensive High School, also from the Free State. So something is really working really well in the Free State for electrical technology. Bula. We move on now to achievements that we are recognizing in mechanical technology. And the winners here, we're looking at machining and fitting, plus welding and metalwork specializations. The winners in the first division, machining and fitting, the Richard Vaga High School from the Eastern Cape. Congratulations. Staying with mechanical technology, and this time looking at welding and metal specialization. Congratulations, Kwezi Lomso Comprehensive School, also from the Eastern Cape. Congratulations to all of you from the Richard Vaga and Kwezi Lomso schools in the Eastern Cape. Our last qualifying category this year is technical science. Here we have one winner looking at technical sciences, and our winner is Puma Nyova High School from KwaZulu Natal. So this is a virtual yee to all our winners today. Your achievements have been acknowledged, and what we want to say is whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because you are the bedrock of fueling this future where we're going to see our children really prepared for the fourth industrial revolution. And you're not just preparing children, you're preparing a future for a nation. And so we are all, as South Africans, indebted to you. I hope that you do enjoy the accolades that you receive in the company of your home and your family and your friends and your colleagues. And we see you. Thank you. Enjoy the trophies and the prizes. Before we sign off this evening and close off what has been an exceptional 2 days of conversation, discussion, debating and learning and training, I'd like to hand over now to Dr. Cynthia Malinga from the Sasol Foundation for her just to share her reflections on today. She gave us her reflections on day one. It would be great if she could just tie up the thoughts for day two. And so please welcome warmly Dr. Cynthia Malinga.
Good evening.
We are very excited to reach this stage of the 2 days of our conference, and especially with the winners that Lerato just announced for us. We are very excited that we saw schools, rural schools in particular, achieving the best results, as Mayor Khembo explained earlier. A school like Pumanyova from Nongoma, and there is it Lomso from the Eastern Cape. We are very excited about such schools. And there were questions earlier about how these rural schools can get the assistance in terms of equipment and all. And we know that, and we are very appreciative of the fact that even though they do not have the technology, the simulations and all that other privileged schools have, but they are able to attain the good results that we have seen here today. And congratulations. The past 2 days have been very exciting for us as Sasol and our partners. And this was our first virtual conference as the Sasol Foundation, and we are very excited for what we have achieved. It was not easy. We feel that we needed a little bit more time. A virtual conference needs more time than a face-to-face one. So we learned our lessons, but we are very excited of the program that we're able to put together, which was not easy as well. I'm sure you will have noticed that we could not cover all the 9 specializations or 12 specializations if you consider the EGD and the technical maths and technical science, but we tried as much as we could to cover at least the main categories, have something for mechanical technology, something for civil technology and electrical technology, and the others. And we hope that we were able to meet your expectations as far as that is concerned. You will also notice that this year, we focused a lot on the new technologies, which is why our theme was infusing for IR technologies in the teaching of technical maths and science, in the teaching of technical subjects. You will notice that we did not necessarily focus on what you're doing in school currently, because we believe that the Department of Education is doing that with the many teacher development sessions that you have. We are aware that in the next few weeks, when schools close, most of you will be attending training. But we wanted to expose you to what is coming in the future. And that is why we are looking at the 4IR, because before we notice it is going to be 5IR. I don't know whether it will be called 5IR, but the 5th Industrial Revolution is upon us. And so we need to move with speed and not be left behind. So we got a taste of for an example, what vocational education is being done in countries like Germany, which we're very excited to have. And they gave us just a glimpse of how they are doing that. And as South Africa, we do not want to be left behind, but we want to make sure that we catch up and, if possible, move on. I think some people picked up that Mr. Klaves, when he was presenting, he was amazed at what an African country could do in terms of us connecting with them and so on. And we are very proud of ourselves. We're also exposed to the different modes of interactive technologies for teaching, how we are using the Zooms and the Teams, the different platforms, and also the simulations that we have, just so that teachers get comfortable. And as a matter of fact, I'm very proud of the teachers that managed to join this platform and the conference. The platform that we are using is a bit different from the Zoom and the Teams that we are so used to. But we saw teachers coming in, and they are very confident. I'm really, really impressed. And I want to clap hands to you, even if you, wherever you are sitting on your different tables. And the excitement now that we saw is people were were logging onto the platform for the awards, sitting on the different tables and sharing with us. I'm sitting at a table with who and who. It's very exciting to be able to embrace that. And some of them were able to greet, opening the videos and the mics to speak to each other. I think I was very excited by the young man we saw here, especially because he acknowledged the teacher, Miss Puwe or Mrs. Puwe, who taught him and made sure that he goes to university. Nhlanhla Mazibuko is an inspiration, and he was an inspiration to all of us when he was speaking. Very amazing that he is a civil engineer who has now taken liking of the automotive engineering. It just shows that what you study is really teaching you how to learn, not necessarily a particular kind of job that you are going to do. So he has been exposed to the ways of learning from university and the different problem-solving strategies, and he has solved a problem for us as South Africa and for Africa, as a matter of fact, because the first electrical bakkie that he is designing is the first one in Africa, the whole continent. So we are very excited. So he's showing us how we infuse the 4IR technologies, and in this case, in the automotive. And we also saw what Porsche is doing as far as that is concerned. And we would have loved to say he can be employed by Porsche. Why be employed by Porsche when he can have his own company? Mazibuko Motors is his company that he has started, and we are very excited about that. And then we were also fascinated by the introduction into programming and robotics, programming and robotics 101 that we got this morning from Junior Engineers for Africa and UNISA, just exposing us to what is there. And I think what was mentioned quite a lot is that we must start small, but you must do it, because programming is a language, and you have to do it over and over again until you get it right. Now, if you do not do it, you will never know and you'll never achieve. You try once and you give up, then you'll never get anywhere. So it was very exciting to be exposed to those things. And we are hoping that we are going to move with speed to make sure that the different schools attain all the resources that are needed in order for this to happen. And we are happy that the Department of Basic Education has introduced these subjects, piloting in grade R and 3 and 7 in March, April, and we'll be doing grade 9, grade 8 and 4 and 6, something like that, later on this year. And as the Sasol Foundation, we are partners in doing that, making sure that the subject advisors were trained, and we are targeting 1,200 schools that are going to benefit, that have already benefited by the subject advisors we trained in April and May, in April and March and April. So that is very exciting, and we are moving forward with that. And of course, the people that got the calculators from Sharp were very excited. When I saw that calculator, I was so amazed when I compare with the calculator I used to work with, I won't say how many years ago. Some of you were not born, but it is different. And it shows the development and the innovation that comes up with the time. And then today, we got very technical in terms of the different specializations. We had presentations in maths and presentation in engineering, graphics, and design, the nitty-gritties of what teachers need to take care of. And especially because it was done by people who are specialists, and some of them are teacher educators. They train teachers at university, what they need to take off, and what are the things, the misconceptions that they might have, but also the issue of threshold concepts that teachers in the different specializations need to take care of and make sure that they address with their learners in welding, in electrical, and there was also a talk of combining or integrating ICT with EGD, which is what we are already trying to do in our schools with the computer-aided design that our schools are exposed to instead of drawing using your hand. So we try to infuse the technologies as much as possible this year, and would like to congratulate all of you for joining us live on this journey. We appreciate the innovation that we had. We had a robot here today, and it was just one way of showing how we can have future Leratos will no longer be the person, but who knows, maybe all the other next year's conference will only be having a virtual or a robot MC or a robot SEM like we had today, which was very exciting. So I think we are happy as Sasol of this first virtual conference. Some of our presenters were not very comfortable with presenting remotely. And you'll also notice that as much as we wanted the presentations and the engagements to be more interactive, we're still struggling a little bit, and maybe if we had time, would prepare that a little bit more so that you do not just sit and listen to someone talking, but you also do something and are able to engage, even though it is remote. So we are very excited that we're able to put that together. And I'm not going to do the vote of thanks, but really we are thankful to our team under the leadership of George that made sure that they put everything together. I know he was pushing the presenters, those who were presenters will know, needing this information and that information from them, and that was very useful. And Lerato, you were just beautiful. But as I said, I'm not doing the vote of thanks. So Babu Cwane will do the vote of thanks to you and Sam. But thank you very much. And let's look forward to the next sixth ATTC. Now it is formally ATTC, Annual Technical Teachers Conference. And we hope that it will be much bigger than this. I think we'll be having things like virtual reality then, and we'll have the things coming out of the computer and so on in the form of 3D. So we are getting there. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And we are closing our conference today. We had planned it to be 3 days, but because of the challenges that we have of sitting and looking at the computer, we decided to shorten it to 2 days, but also the issues of data, which we tried to address somewhat. We hope that next year we'll be able to make sure that all teachers are able to reach us and are able to connect without connectivity issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you, Dr. Malinga, and thank you for outlining, the expectations for what's to come. Very, very ambitious, virtual reality, augmented realities, 3Ds, and that's how we should all be thinking. I'm just saddened by the fact that, yes, Dr. Malinga looks at me and she's like, no, when next year we're replacing you 100%. With Sam. I knew when I saw Sam that I'm going to have a problem in my life. I'll speak to him about it over coffee. Don't worry. I'll smooth things out between us. But really and truly, what's happening here, I think, is a collaboration between corporate South Africa and public sector South Africa and civil South Africa. And it's people like Dr. Malinga who are that interface, for that. But the leadership as a whole of the Sasol Foundation is where it begins. It begins with people who say, let's enable that kind of collaboration. Let's go outside of our comfort zone. We're not going to say we're this huge industrial giant with this huge taxpayer in South Africa. We've paid our dues. Let's do more. Let's continue to do more. And let's touch South Africa at the coalface. And that leadership is represented here today by Dr Vusi Cwane, who is the head and the CEO of the Sasol Foundation. So please welcome him warmly.
Thank you very much once again, Lerato. And very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to engage with you once again as we are about to end this conference. I'm not undermining what it has just been done in terms of the reflection that was done by Dr. Malinga, who's also the organizer of this conference. But as I think it's been alluded here by Lerato, I also just want to give a leadership angle to this. That is sort of, if you like, cement what has been said. But I'm also me, so I also need to do that reflection and indicate to you how I feel. Lerato, I am very, very happy. I am over the moon about this conference. What an awesome event. On the first day, which is yesterday, when we were having some glitches, I said, oh my God, does this follow me? Whenever you've got something big, you're going to have buffering, you're going to have all of those things. But that was a minute part of this conference, beautifully and well executed. I have to say that if anyone on this call or anyone listening wherever they are ever doubted how committed our teachers are to our nation's children's education, I put it to you now, they do not know what they're talking about. They absolutely haven't got a clue. This conference, Lerato, is happening at a time which is the height of the reoccurrence of the pandemic. It's hitting us, especially those of us like myself that are in Gauteng, worrying people that have got other challenges in their lives, worrying our elderly, worrying our teacher population. Just yesterday, we began the vaccination process for our teachers. And yet, I'm told, for these 2 days, between 300 and 400 delegates were active participants of this conference. If you don't call that commitment, then I don't know what commitment is. Indeed, a marvel to watch and copy by many of us. As I also represent the business fraternity, when Dr. Malinga and I were at the initial stages of planning for this conference, we were very clear as to exactly what is it that we're trying to achieve. Our leadership above us needed to know that before we could sell them the concept, the how, and everything. Let me share what those objectives are, and you be the judge if they were achieved. The first one was sharing best practice. The second was reviewing the curriculum challenges in our technical subjects, especially those recently introduced. The third one was exposing our teachers to the latest technologies. The fourth was exposing them to industry best practices. And the fifth was enhancing their knowledge and skills, especially in digital technologies. I believe not only were these objectives met, they were exceeded by far. But also in the manner in which this conference was happening, I believe, Lerato, although I didn't see the delegates, but you can pick up things from the vibe, that our delegates was being educated, they had lots and lots of fun. That is probably objective number 6, and it is implied. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions to further illustrate this point. How could these objectives, Lerato, not have been met when our teachers were engaged in such rich topics during plenary and breakaway sessions? When we were blessed with international presenters from Germany, Torsten, that was also mentioned by Dr. Malinga just now. When we're inspired by our own role models, Unhlanhla Mazibuko. Dr. Malinga said a little bit more about him, who has designed electric vehicles and has got his own company in our very own country, and our son in terms of his relative age to some of us and probably quite a number of the teachers. Demonstrating, Lerato, that the digital world is within reach. It's not a utopia out there. It is something that can be reached by us. When we're in the company of high quality speakers, when our own leaders set aside important engagements to be with us, our deputy minister set aside time during the vaccination process and was with us. The chairman and the trustees of the foundation did the same. The leadership, the entire leadership of Adcorp, including the chief executive, was visible. The two chief directors from basic education, Dr. Smelane and Dade Tlhabane. When we're also being hosted, I have to emphasize this, by such technically competent and passionate team, led on the Sasol side by Dr. Malinga, led on the event side by George Source, and in the company of one of the most brilliant young South Africans as an MC, Lerato Mbele. How could we? What choices did we have in terms of achieving what is it that we wanted to achieve? If we couldn't in such a company, then, Lerato, I put it to you, we never would. Of course, we're not saying that this conference, after it, all challenges in technical subjects or technical teaching are gone. But we're saying that the conference has inspired us, has empowered us to deal with those challenges decisively, has paved the way for us to be motivated to know what can be achieved. Yes, careers in technical trades are undervalued. Our community is still obsessed with their children, being directed towards academic streams. That is the past. They need to know that. Lessons from other nations about the role of artisans, technicians, and the like in building an economy have not quite sunk with many in our nation. Whilst there are a number of companies that are playing important role in supporting technical education, as demonstrated here in this conference, many have not begun to do so. I therefore want to assert that we must crack the obstacles to advancing technical education in our country. We must deal with the participation and pass rates in our technical subjects. We must change the mindset of our parents towards technology-oriented subjects. More partnerships, Program Director, are needed to be forged with industry to capacitate the teachers. They're needed to be forged. Teachers, as has been said throughout this conference, will never be replaced by technology. They remain central to our education system. More effort and investment in equipping them to advance technical education needs to be made. Hence, I want to conclude this reflection by welcoming the pledge by Sasol, directly directed at our teachers on this call. And it is a commitment towards enhancing technical teacher training in South Africa. Lerato, I want to stop there in terms of my reflection, but with your permission as our director, I would like to just do a couple of vote of thanks, some of which were probably implied in my remarks that I made there. But I do need to mention maybe companies or groups of individuals by name. Dr. Malinga has said it. It wasn't easy to put the conference of this nature together. We were nervous as to whether our first virtual conference would be a success or not. But we ventured on. We soldiered on. We were very fortunate to get great partners in the form of the last man standing, I'm not quite sure when is the last woman standing coming, but that's what we have right now. As well as obviously when we actually got in contact with Lerato because we knew her professionalism to pull this together. But behind it, the work of Dr. Malinga and the team, which I will finish off just now. So Lerato, please allow me to thank our partners for this conference, the Adcorp Group, Sharp, who came as well. We acknowledge Kagiso Trust, and of course, the strategic partner to the foundation, which is the Department of Basic Education. Please allow me also to thank the speakers that had great participation here, Seliki Tlabane, Moses Melane, and just now, Elspeth Khembo. And I believe that Desiree Lechuiti, also from the DBE, had a big part to play. So although we didn't see her, but we appreciate what she has done. From UNISA, Dr. Patricia Gous, it was a pleasure for me to see her actually earlier on today. She is also a long-standing partner of the foundation. Our industry speakers, Isabel Tlabangu, Stuart Windram, and of course, we've spoken about Ntlatla Mazibuko. The various facilitators of our breakaway sessions, we thank you guys. We know that was a very, very critical part of this conference. Mohammed Saib, Kuni Labuskain, Isaac Boshomane, Jabus Tole, Divilia Bota, Johan Kok, Nsova Matebula, Talmor, Lucky Mufokeng, Dr. Semi Koza, and Teddy Sibia. Again, people, whenever I know we list people, there's a danger of leaving a person. If I have left anyone, it is not intentional. And I want to go towards concluding by actually, again, thanking the event organizers. You have been seeing Dr. Cynthia Malinga, but I know you've seen the team supporting her. And I want to just have them acknowledged and thank at this conference. That's Londi Zulu and Mpolai Koloko. The leadership in my team has also been going in and out here. Usis Gugu Zulu, and Dr. Bulelwa Keke. They are here today as well. And of course, I've got Dr. Nontokozo Xaba, who has also been backing all the planning and preparations of this in our virtual office, because we operate virtually as well. George, when I met you, and I met your team, and you confused the hell out of me about all the technical aspects about how this thing was going to come together, and you said to me, I must not worry, and in fact, that's what caused me to be very worried, and I'm telling you, you delivered exceptionally well. I know we're paying you as a foundation, but sometimes when people went beyond the call of whatever duty they were due, appreciation is in order. So we do appreciate you. Colleagues, I'm sorry that I didn't take your specific names, but I'm guided here. I'm even told how to put on whatever. And all of that goes to create coherence in that which we are doing. We appreciate you. And I must say, in my probably almost 36, 37 years of corporate work, this is one of the most efficient organizations that I have seen. It is appreciated. Let's also appreciate the Adcorp group. Again, colleagues, I did thank the leadership, but there are people like Mohau and Antoinette that have been working with Dr. Cynthia, and I know the journey with them has been much long. I don't think they're necessarily here, but let us acknowledge them. Of course, Lerato. Lerato, please look at me. Leave that other. Lerato's got a toy here. Leave that toy. Put it aside, because you need to look at me. You have been simply a star. We knew of you professionally, but what you've done, and especially yesterday, I've got to say this, because yesterday when Murphy's Law hit me, and then the only time when there was a technical glitches one was the senior executive of Sasol was actually presenting, and I said, Lord, come down, because this is such a mess. I don't know how I'm going to recover from it. And Lerato just beautifully just came up and actually did a, what do you call it, as a commercial, but an education commercial. But the way she did it, I just watched. Lerato, we watched you. And after that, I was communicating with the executive directly, and she said to me, these things happen, but the important thing is that we recovered, and my message was carried through. So, brilliant, Lerato, brilliant. And of course, you confuse me with Sam. I'm looking for, I don't even know where Sam is at the moment, but Sam played a part. And the fact that Sam might replace you, I think you're going to be a hard nut to crack. So, but anyway, if that is a possibility, that the future will tell. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, let me thank you, the educators of our nation, for your participation, for your patience, for your generosity in terms of sharing, very actively in the discussions and in the conversations, whether you put messages on the chat or whatever. Without that level of interaction, there was no conference. We could have this beautiful technical setup by George, but it needed people. It needed an audience to connect to. And you really made us proud. Continue to look after the children of this country. Continue to look after your nation. What you are doing to crack technical education, to contribute towards the building of technical skills that are desperately needed, is noble. Stay there. Stay on the course, and conferences like this in future. Dr. Malinga, I won't be here next year, but Dr. Malinga, who is continuity in these things, has already indicated that we'll have another one. Hopefully this time, Doc, it may be a mixture of virtual and being in person, so that people can be actually exposed to the real workshops, can touch equipment, and can play and so that we continue to enhance the skills that are solely required in our country. I wish you all a great evening and a safe evening, especially people that are in this city that I'm in Johannesburg, where things are not great at the moment. But wherever you are, please take care of yourself and be safe. I thank you.
Thanks to you, Mr Vusi Cwane, for delivering just such an impassioned clarion call, is what I'd say, for us all to play our part, whatever sector of the economy, whatever sector of society, to fuel the future, because this 4IR we've been talking about, it really is going to harness the country we want to see and the continent we want to see as Africans. And thank you for delivering your reflections and your vote of thanks with such generosity and levity as well. I think there's nothing more left for me to say with this regard. I just want to acknowledge that you are all, from where you're seated, are all using the chat forum to celebrate your colleagues, those who've won in tonight's award ceremony, and check out each other's outfits. And it's wonderful to have that level of engagement. And I can see many shines, many congratulations, many hands of applause, and it's very, very generous. So if you still want to say something, reach out to your colleagues, just do so on the chat forum. There's a huge conversation, a big party going on there, a great, great honoring of our awardees tonight. Again, congratulations to our winners tonight. And let me thank the Sasol Foundation for inviting me, because for myself, this is an education. As a journalist, and certainly as an international journalist who's been out of the country for many, many years, I take for granted just how much ingenuity there is in South Africa, just how much patriotism there is in South Africa. And over the last 2 days, I see it. This country's got incredible potential because of teachers like you. So don't give up. Keep going. We're very, very thankful. We are indebted to you as a nation. And let me also just say thank you to the technical team that I've been working with over the last 2 days. They are the unsung heroes. They've got to launch this platform. They've got to make sure things are working. They've got to make sure when you're on the chat, it's working. When you migrate to the breakaway tabs, it's working. The cameras are working. You know, you look at me and you think, oh, Lerato's doing so well. No, Lerato's doing well because she's got a huge machinery behind her, and it wouldn't be possible without any of you. Just on the subject of the chat, Elsa Ward, I saw your comment, thank you. Londiwe, I saw your comment, thank you. Made in Ghana, Kiki Boutique, just go there. And of course, I wouldn't have been able to learn and engage and experience this 4IR were it not for my esteemed and cheeky and charming co-host, Sam. So Sam, before we say goodbye, is there anything that you'd like to say as a parting note?
Congratulations to all the winners and to everyone who took part in this amazing virtual conference. It truly has infused the technologies of the Fourth Industrial Revolution into the world of technical teaching, and the future looks bright. I would like to congratulate the organizers on a job well done, and thank you for allowing me to be part of it all. The past 2 days have been amazing. I especially enjoyed my time with you, Lerato. I hope that we can meet for that coffee soon. To all of you who are fueling the future of our country and world, I say thank you, and keep investing in your own knowledge and growth. Goodbye from me, Saspot A2TT. It's time to move into this future of boundless possibilities.
Hi, Usam is a charmer, as he still owes me that coffee. I just want to put it out there. So indeed, according to Sam, the future looks bright. And let's not forget that. There's a lot to play for, and South Africa's got all that it takes to make it so. So ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder before we log off and say goodbye. If you've missed any part of the deliberations today or yesterday, don't despair. This site will be active for the next 11 months. 11 months. For nearly a year, you can keep coming back to the conference site, having a look at the presentations. You can even download those presentations. All you have to do is simply use the button on demand. Once you click onto that, you'll be able to go to where you want to go to, navigate. And I think that's also an opportunity for you to invite some of the other teachers who, because of the vaccination program and just other teaching commitments, couldn't make it, to come and sit down with you over a cup of tea. You turn on the screen, you go back to the site, and you watch it together, relive the experience, review the commentary, and just really kind of absorb what's being said, because there were many useful tools on how to infuse the new technologies in your teaching, and just for you also just to debate some of the challenges that were so frankly and candidly spoken of. Let me also say thank you to all the speakers, trainers, and guests who joined me on stage and virtually, because your contributions have been valuable beyond measure. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to close off the 5th Annual Technical Teachers Conference for this year. But as you go out there, remember, it is you fueling the future. So please do so and keep safe. Bye-bye.
It used to be that the classroom was a place with 4 walls, where we gathered together to learn, to inspire, to achieve. The world has changed. It is so much bigger now, and the opportunities are endless in this new virtual world, for learning, for innovation, for preparing for a new digital future. It is time to acknowledge that the 4th Industrial Revolution is here. And it is time to embrace the world of technology, of digitization, of online learning, and the Internet of Things. Within the teaching community, we know that one thing has not changed: the commitment and dedication of our educators in ensuring that learners are future fit and prepared for this new world. The future world of work is ever changing, ever evolving, and fast moving. We will not be left behind. Join us in fueling a future world of work. We must prepare our learners for a future of boundless possibilities.